Well, this is the beautiful County Fermanagh, and I'm in a wonderful place called Erne, and I've had some really fantastic memories here in the past, and a couple of bad ones. But this is the River Erne, and in 2014 I was on the Mahones Festival, and we fished the Classic, which is the big one, and I stopped on and fished the Mahones Festival on the river, and it were on the river system and the locks up and down. Now this is Sligo Road, what we call Sligo Road, and the festival was not going right well, and I'm going to tell you about a story where I broke the River Erne record on an unbelievable magical day that dreams are made of and things like that. Just one of them blue ribbon days. So it was a 5-day competition. It's on weight, and it was run by Roddy and Mike Scott at the Mahones Hotel further up the road, and they were the sponsors. So after 3 days, this is Sligo Road here, along here. That on the bank where the castle is Broadmeadow. So day 1, 2 and 3 they were catching bream on Broadmeadow, but of course our rotation of about 20 anglers, because there was 80 on the competition, went nowhere near town. We were in town last couple of days, and they were catching bream, and the weights were getting quite big to start with, and then they got lower. And by the time we got there Thursday, I was actually 64th out of 80 in the festival. And all the lads in our group were all in the bottom half, because we just got the rotation completely and utterly wrong, which happens in festivals. It's just what I had 15 kilos. I were miles off. I think like 80 kilo were winning it, like there were bream all over the place on Broadmeadow. And so Thursday morning I was ready for going home. I was thinking, oh, we should hurry up. And because we'd not to come, I'd got 15 kilos, miles behind. The only thing I could hope for was it were our day in the town on the Thursday, but the bream weights on the Wednesday were getting a bit lower. But I wanted to be on Broadmeadow. I didn't want to be on, the only peg I wanted on here on Sligo Road was number 1, which is down there, just up from the bridge, or on Broadmeadow, where I got a chance of catching a few bream and win it on the day. But I wasn't going to catch 40-50 kilos to catch him back up. It's impossible. Well, this is what happened. So the draw was done in Fishing Tattle and Baits Tattle Shop, and we had the draw every morning in there. Off a tots in, like dragging me bottom lipping, and you can see it's a busy road, this Sligo Road. So we've gone in there. I've gone in the app, Roddy's out in the bag, goes in, and I draws Sligo Road 1, which is the end peg down on Sligo Road. And on the Sligo Road, which is here, straight behind it, bottom of the car park, it was the only peg I wanted on this lake, and I thought, oh, it's a great peg. I'm going to show you, it's a fantastic peg. But it was the only peg I wanted because I can get to the bream and the big hybrid. Day before, Gary Wally had won it round the corner with 35 kilos of great big hybrids, and I thought, I've got a chance of winning on the day, and that was my thought really. The overall really had gone. And I thought, well, I can catch up to 20 to 30 kilos, win it on the day, and at least I'll go with a bit of Chinese money, bit of pocket money. So the number 1 peg is about, I don't know, 200 yards down from here, which I'm going to show you now. So I drawn peg 1, like oh, alright, I'll have a day's fishing. But if you know me, I don't go fishing for a day's fishing, I only go to win. And this is what I did. Right, this is peg 1. Parked my car there with them little railings there, and I just walked down the bank, and I put my tattle in, and you can see peg 1. There you go. And all I did, I put my stand in the water, like there, 1.5 meters out, and I stood there looking at that. Wow, how beautiful is that, the castle? That's the town bridge, and Look at that. What, I mean, it's just like unbelievable. And that's the river, so it splits here, right? So it splits there, and most boats go that way, some go this way. And that island there, when I first come in 1977, I was pegged on that island twice. And because they used to put it in when the river was full of bream and roach and everything. And actually drew on there twice. We used to go over in a little ferry. And it was pegged all the way around Ireland. They don't do that now. I think the Sea Scouts are on there. So anyway, I've drawn this peg and I thought, right, two choices here. I can fish for roach, get 20 kilos of roach, chance of winning on day. But I don't like that. I'm thinking, because there's another bridge past there, and Gary had won it with 30 odd kilos at a big high bridge the day before, and he'd lost a few. And so all of a sudden Mark Silver come up to me, come here, let's have a word. He says, in winter we come and fish there, and the fish there, and the fish and they catch bream on the pole. And there were a boat there, just there where the markings are there, and there were a boat there, and he says, just fish 12 metres past the boat. And he says, that's all you've got to do. So, and I'm thinking, well, they've been catching bream there and bream there. Why hadn't anybody caught any bream here? And they hadn't. And I thought to myself, oh Stuffy, I'm going to fish for bream. I'm going to have a go. I mean, look at it. It's the most breamiest pegging island. It looks absolutely unbelievable. So I set 2 feeder rods up, 2 13-foot rods, 2 big feeders, braid, so it's an old 22 line with a 12 hook on. And I thought, right, and I got some ground bait and I mixed a proper breamy mix, like full of corn, full of casters, chopped worms, a proper breamy job. And I thought, right, I'm going for it, set 2 rods up. So I thought, well, not to lose, let's have it a day. So, like I said, I've sat on my platform there, and I've had a little plumb round at start, and it was quite clear, that's peg 1 on Broadmeadow there. So here was my target, so I fished sort of there, just there in the middle, because it felt a bit clearer at start. 30 metres, that's all. So a lot of people think I cast to the bridge, but I didn't. Oh no, it's too far. You don't catch what I caught chucking that far. I chucked 30 turns, that's all that I did. So it comes to start, and I got this big, I had a big feeder on, and I emptied it 6 times, full of bait. So come back in, put 4 maggots on my 12, cast it just there, 30 metres, put rod there, and it went woof, first cast, picked up, nothing on. I couldn't believe it, nearly pulled me off my box. I couldn't bloody believe it, honestly, I was flabbergasted. I was actually gutted. I'm thinking, I don't believe that, wound in, chucked back in, it went whoosh, within 2 minutes, picked up, and I've got one of them 4-pound Erne hybrids. Now, if you've never ever caught a river Erne, Loch Erne hybrid, you've never lived, because they are stunning, like absolutely beautiful. It's worth going to just to catch one. Casting again, straight round, 2. Casting, straight round, 3. Casting, straight round, and I'm thinking, them fish that Gary were catching under the bridge, they're in my peg. Fish, so I caught 4 hybrids. Now these hybrids are 3 to 4 pound, great big things. And I'm thinking, oh, that's all right. And all of a sudden on my 5th one, it's gone in, and I got a bream, 5-pound bream. I thought, wow, so I've took the maggots off and put a worm on. And I've cast in and it's gone. Dink, 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 like that. Another one, and after an hour, I'd got 14 fish. And I'm thinking, well, I've won the match after an hour. And I'm thinking, oh crikey, I've got 20 odd kilos, I've won the match. And already, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to catch many more. But I kept chucking in and it kept going round. And halfway through, from that chair there, Mark Silman turned up. And Dancing Boy Mosey, right, Dancing Boy he fell off a table the night before and broke his ankle, so he'd been to hospital, he couldn't fish. And he was sat there with a pot on and everything, and Mark said, how many you got? I said, I've got 35. And he went, 35 what? And I went, 35 hybrids and bream. and they nearly fell off the chair. Honestly, nearly fell off the table. Gary Moore nearly fell off the table again. And anyway, get stuff, and I'm playing one now, and I went 36, and he went, oh my God, and he went, just a minute, 36 bream. He says, I've been weighing him in all week, and 5 bream are 9 kilos, 6, you've got 54 kilos already. And I'm thinking, no I haven't, it just didn't seem right. I've only been fishing halfway through, and I kept adding them up, and when I got to like, what I thought was 60 odd kilos, I'm thinking, I won't match on day, and I'm thinking, just a minute, I can get it overall now. And then every bream I caught after that, I'm thinking, well, I've just moved up a place, I've moved up a place, I've moved up a place. But I'm thinking, surely they're gonna go, they can't keep coming these. Anyway, 64 bream and ivories later, 64, and Gary's going, and Mark's going, 64, you've got between 105 and 110 kilos. And I'm going, don't be stupid. That's impossible. You can't possibly do that. And it's like, and he said, I'm telling you, that's what you've got. And I went, I ain't. I know I've got a big weight. And I'm thinking, well, the big fish, they're like 4 pounders and that. And I'm thinking, 60 odd, that's 200 pounds. It's like ridiculous. And it was unbelievable. I had a bite every casting, and I had a fish on every casting. I hooked 68, got 64 out. You got to think on, it's quite, it was flowing a bit, so it's a river. So I've caught a great big bream sort of every 4.5 minutes. And they never backed off. Anyway, all the lads have heard about it now, and they come down to weigh me in. So they brought me net into the side. Mike Scott were absolutely outstanding. And the 5 lads that come with him were unbelievable. They all got each side at net, lifted them onto, they didn't bring it out onto the bank, they put it sort of there. And they picked the fish out, put them in net and weighed them at 5 and 6 at a time. And like I said, Mike Scott, top man, he were brilliant. He handled it absolutely perfect, weighed every fish in, every fish went back, and then he added it up. And he went, 109 kilos, 500. And it was like, unbelievable, no kilos, that's 245 pounds. I mean, what a day's fishing, and I mean, look at that. I mean, it's just like unbelievable. And of course, everyone's getting to know now. And I'm like, I'm walking around in the days, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can win festival, I can win the Mahones. Perhaps don't deserve it because I've caught no rest at week, but it were a weight match, that's what happens. And so I'm like in a right mess, to be honest with you. So anyway, we put them all back, we've took a few photos. One of my regrets I never took, because what comes next I didn't expect. What I didn't expect was what happens next. So we've gone to the pub, and I forget which pub it was, and we've gone in like, and of course I'm sat there having something to eat, and all the lads are coming in. Is it right? Is it true? And they're all looking at me, shaking my hand and patting me on the back and everything like that. One of the best moments I've ever had, the man himself, Gary Worley. Now, a few years ago, he said well done to me when I brought world record. If you get a well done off Gary, you know you've done your right thing. And he come up and he looked at Scotty and went, is it right? Is it right? I'll never forget his face. I've heard, is it right? And he's gone, yeah. And he looked and I was there, and he looked and he went, oh my God. And he stuck his hand out and grabbed hold of my hand like he's never done it before. And he said, well done, mate. That was unbelievable. So I'm winning festival. It's like unbelievable. And you think, it's like weird. So there's a day to go and somebody else has got to come on this peg. So you never, count your chickens. But my theory was, the catching bream opposite, why wouldn't you fish for bream? It looks the most breamiest peg in the world. It really does. Look at it, doesn't it? It's beautiful. And yeah, 109 kilos, 500. Good start. And then the day after, I drew crap and I had another 5 kilos. So I finished up weighing 20 kilos plus me 110. So I've 130 kilos and I've caught 110 in one day. And won the festival. So not only did I, but what I didn't know, what I didn't know is that it were an Erne record. I didn't know that. There were, there's a couple of people said they broke it with 102, 103 kilos years and years ago when River were like unbelievable. And but I let them fake that out the second there anyway. So yeah, unbelievable record peg. What a beautiful peg. What a day. I still think about it a lot. I put a story about it in my book, and it was just one of them days you not just dream about. They're above dreams, aren't they? And yeah, so I finished up coming here, break it her record, and win it my homes. What a day. What memories. And look at that. What a view. Oh, does it get any better than that?